Hi everyone, welcome to my series, Finesse and Flair, the Power Couple series. Today I have a very, very special couple amongst us. Major General Vikram Dogra, ABSM, was commissioned into the Pune Horse in 1981. He is the recipient of the Sword of Honor for being the best all-round passing cadet and gold medalist for passing out first in order of merit. He commanded the Pune Horse, 180 Armored Brigade on the Western Front and an infantry division, part of Strike Corps. He served in various assignments and gained combat experience in Jammu and Kashmir as also a part of the United Nations peacekeeping force in Angola, Africa. The general is a committed sports person and an adventure enthusiast. He cycled from Leh to Chandigarh over 5 of the highest mountain passes, ranging from 13,400 to 17,600 feet, as well as the northeast of India from Sela Pass at 14,000 feet to Bumla La at 15,400 feet on the Chinese border. A motivational and TEDx speaker. In 2018, he did the Ironman Austria at the age of 58 in 14 hours and 21 minutes to become the first serving Indian Army officer and the only general in the world to do so. In July 2019, he once again took on the Ironman competition in Germany and bettered his own time by 41 minutes, completing the grueling race in 13 hours and 40 minutes. He was awarded the Ati Vashisht Seva Medal on 19th March 2019 by the President of India to recognize distinguished service of an exceptional order. Mrs. Supriya Dogra grew up at the National Defense Academy, where her father was an English professor for over 30 years. She did her English honors from LSR University, Delhi University, and post-graduation in English from the Mumbai University. After being a doting mother for over 20 years, she was the vice president and head of training for prestigious finishing schools in Delhi for over 5 years, and a senior content writer with Educom Datamatics Private Limited for 4 years. A passionate outdoor person, she has been an avid rider and won the South Indian Cup for dressage in 1995. In Chandigarh in 2007, she won the gold medal for women's dressage competition. She participated in the Himalayan and Uttarakhand car rallies as crew. She also did the treacherous and dangerous Chadar trek in Leh on the Zanskar Glacier and seriously took up running in 2014. In 2019, she trained for the half Ironman to be held at Goa in October 2019, but went down with dengue just 2 weeks before the event. She is now training for the half Ironman once again and aspires to complete it post-pandemic. She is also an artist and has been painting in the pandemic and intends to hold her exhibition post the pandemic. The couple have 2 beautiful sons, Adhiraj, 29, who's working with Google, and Angad, 24, who is making his inroads into the fitness world. So please welcome Supriya and General Vikram Dogra. A very warm welcome to the 2 of you. Thank you so much for being a part of this show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure. And I can see that everybody in the family is a complete fitness freak, an adventure enthusiast, completely outdoor people. And it's so amazing that, even now you are continuing doing so and your kids are, totally inspired by the 2 of you. I can see that, which is absolutely brilliant. A completely exceptional family in every possible way.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so this particular series, the Power Couple series, is about bringing an inspirational power couple like the two of you together and to get to know your love story. How did the two of you actually meet? How did Cupid strike between the two of you?
So since I was the guy who initiated it, I'll take that on,
Sure.
and then she will put in her bit later on. So, this was 1981, and I was in the IMA as a third termer that is ready to pass out. And I was an appointment. So I had this appointment, which was the Academy Cadet Adjutant. And therefore, you get a telephone in your room.
Right.
And her dad was the principal of the ACC, which is a wing of the IMA. And I knew that the principal has two daughters. I didn't even know their names. And one Sunday, it was September 81, when I thought, I was getting bored in my cabin. I said, let me make an anonymous call and try and speak to these two girls. And I wanted to speak to the elder one. I knew I wanted to speak to the elder one. I didn't know her name. And I made this call. I still remember the number was 292 on an internal telephone.
Wow,
And yeah. Yeah. So the phone was picked up by somebody, and I asked, I want to speak to Miss Sharma. And the voice on the other side said, which one? I said, the elder one. And so she said, here, your phone. And Supriya came online. I didn't know her name that time. And I said, I'm Sunny. That's my pet name. Of course, I couldn't tell her I'm cadet so-and-so. So I said, I'm Sunny and I'm a cadet here and I want to be your friend. And, I want to talk to you. So she said, no, that's not possible. And she slammed the phone down. And this happened about, I think, 10 times, one after the other, till I decided to change tactics. So I said, this time I'll ring up and I'll apologize. Maybe that'll, soften up the person on the other side. So I rang up and I said, it's very silly for me to keep ringing up again and again. And the voice on the other side said, yeah, it's very stupid of you to do that. And this time the voice was different. So I said, who's speaking? She said, I'm Supriya. And then I banged the phone down, and that's how I found out her name, Supriya. So,
right.
And then this, I'm a persistent guy, and I tried, and after about 2 months, I convinced her that, we will never meet in life, and we'll only speak on the phone. And that's how we, got to start talking. And I would call up and ask for Sandra. And if she was not around, then it would be a wrong number. And if it was her, then she would say, yes, Sandra speaking. And that's how we were talking. And then the IMA fate came. That time they used to have these fates and the IMA fate. And I told her, today I'm going to come and ask you for a dance. So she said, I've never seen you. How will I know who you are? I said, you'll get to know. And sure enough, in the fate, I went and asked her and I gave her that hard look. And I said, I want to have a dance with you. And she knew who I was.
Right.
But she acted. And she said, no, I'm tired. I'm very tired. So I said, okay. And there were two other girls who were around and I started dancing with them. And of course, later she told me she felt bad. And that's how it all started. And then we met at a play that she was taking part in the IMA.
Okay.
And I passed out. And we remained in touch, writing letters, because that was the only medium of communication those days.
Yes.
Yeah, there were no mobiles, there were no telephones you could rely on. And in 1984, I told her, I said, now it's high time. So, of course, we had been meeting. By then, she had moved to LSR in Delhi. She was in her first term that time, first year in college. And this was 1984. And then I told her dad, I said, I've written an article and I want to come and show it to you. Because the article was only an excuse to get home.
Right.
So I went over and he was very gracious to, host me and said, what do you have to drink? And I immediately said, I'll have a beer. So because I wanted to be adequately equipped, not conscious, and then ask. And after I got down here, and of course, the article must have been very boring. It was written for them. And then I asked him, I said, I have something to ask you. So he said, I want to marry your daughter. So there was silence. And he had half a glass of whiskey. He knocked that down. There was, he was quiet. He went and poured another drink, came and sat down and said, I don't know who you are. And I said, I'm so and so, and I'm so and so, and my parents are so and so. He said, I haven't never met your parents. I said, they'll come here tomorrow because my parents were already on board.
Or they knew
And
already.
yeah, they knew. And then I said, he said, but she's too young. She has to finish her college. She's only in first year. I said, that's okay, I'll wait. And so then I answered all his queries, and he invited my parents over the next day, and then they came over, and that's how it just got fixed, and our engagement was fixed. I don't know how Cupid stopped her. You need to ask her that because she's never told me that to date. And this is I need to know.
Okay, so I want to know, how did Cupid strike for you?
I know, I think it was his persistence, and then after I met him and I connected a face with the voice, and we used to talk a lot, and I found it very interesting to talk to, and he was good fun. I mean, always very good fun to talk to, and then when we started going out, he was always very good fun to be with, good sense of humor.
Very important. We all women love sense of humor in men.
Yeah, so I think, we just connected very well. So I don't know exactly when Cupid struck, but I guess.
Like General Dogra said, he's very, very persistent, and that definitely worked in his favor for this one.
Yeah, so it's been 39 years now.
Wow.
That's persistence.
That's persistence. That's really persistence. Okay, so tell me, how do the two of you, I know we've all been locked in this pandemic and we've all spent a lot of time together, but how does an ideal weekend work out for the two of you? What would your weekend entail? What would you do on a weekend, the two of you together?
You want to take it on?
Okay, an ideal weekend would be, I mean, are you talking about getting away from Delhi, or if you're in Delhi?
Ideally, what would you do over a weekend, the two of you together?
So either way, it would involve something to do with an activity, an outdoor activity like maybe cycling or running. So on a weekend in Delhi, we normally go for a long run or something, then come back and have a good breakfast and relax the rest of the day, maybe watch Netflix. And if we are going out of town, then we pack our bikes in the car and then head out, cycle out there, and walk and relax in the countryside.
Wow.
Maybe a nice hill station.
I can imagine all your at least weekend activities must be, all outdoor. I can imagine, because you as family, both of you are such outdoor people. So even a weekend getaway would include outdoor activities. For me and my husband, it would probably be just sitting on the bed and watching Netflix. But I can imagine you guys would be totally different.
It's something that we do.
So we do that entire week. Sit on the bed and watch Netflix, and on the weekend we go out.
Okay, so what is your, all the holidays that you've done till date, what has been your favorite holiday destination for the two of you?
I think our favorite destination has been Venice. We had this, we went there in 2013.
Okay.
And apart from the beauty of Venice and the experience, there was also a very, memorable incident which I must narrate, and therefore that adds to the flavor of Venice. So we were living in this, we had, this was a hotel. It was an old castle which had been converted into a hotel.
Wow, beautiful.
It was run by, I think it was run by a family, and they had a manager. And we had a flight in the morning from Venice to Rome. And so we told that lady that we'll be checking out early morning at 5 o'clock, because the flight left at 5:30. It was a half an hour walk from where we were staying to the ferry, because you had to leave by boat and then to the airport. So she said, there's going to be nobody at the desk. So you leave the keys to your room on the desk, and you then leave the main door keys also here, and you just shut the main door. And there's a type, you shut the door, then you can't open it from outside.
Right.
So we up and we checked up our room and we did everything. We left the keys there. And the moment I shut the outside door, Supriya said, do you have my phone with you? So I said, why would I have your phone with me? She said, I think my phone is charging inside.
Oh my God.
No. So now it's 5 in the morning. It's everybody's asleep. Venice sleeps even by day. And there was the outside door was a huge 10-foot high door. Half of it was wood and the upper half was glass, but the glass part had, those the grills. Now we were locked out. And I went around the entire hotel trying to knock on the doors which were there, trying to wake up somebody. Nobody would wake up. And now it was 5:15. And like I said, it was a half an hour walk.
Yeah.
So I was getting desperate. So I found a rake lying in one of the flower beds. And she said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to break the glass." So I smashed the glass, the main door glass, and the glass shattered. And we put our hand inside and opened the latch. And we went in, the keys, of course, were lying there. We opened our bedroom, and sure enough, there was a phone, charging. We picked up the phone, we locked this door, we locked the next door, and we did that half an hour walk in 10 minutes. So,
wow.
And she was telling me all through the way, "You are going to now be arrested in Rome. The moment you land in Rome,
I was just going to ask you that nobody came and questioned you on that.
Yeah, so we landed in Rome, and I looked around, but there was nobody waiting for me. And from there, then we were to go to, London. So she said they're going to get you there. And luckily, nobody got me there. And from there, we came to India, and now that's history.
Wow, I'm amazed because I've been to Venice a couple of times, and Venice is so quiet and peaceful. So if you shattered a glass at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm amazed that nobody came running and nobody.
The door down, but nobody woke up. So there was no way they could hear the glass shattering.
Wow, awesome. Brilliant. Wow, that's a real amazing story. Great. Okay, so my next question for you is there something the two of you would like to change about each other, if there is any? Anything you'd like to change?
Go ahead.
One thing.
You've seen her list?
Oh my God. I love that.
I don't know about him, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to change anything because I think I've got so used to him now, and I know I'm not saying he's perfect. It's just that I'm used to everything. I know how he'll react to things and how he'll feel about things. So I'd rather not change anything. I don't want any surprises.
So she doesn't want to change anything because she'll have to retrain me.
I think 39 years the two of you have been together. I mean, that just says it all. I don't think there is anything that you need to change about each other. That totally says it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't have to answer that question anymore.
Yeah, I know. Amazing. It's amazing. And I'm amazed because my parents had an arranged marriage and they've been together for so many years. And I'm like, my God, how do you tolerate each other considering you didn't even know each other before you got married? But with you, obviously, you chose each other and, you knew each other well enough and you got into this and you've been together for 39 years. So I'm sure I knew this was going to be the answer, that you are not going to change anything about each other.
Maybe someday when we meet, she'll show you that list.
I really want to see that long list. Okay. So, Supriya, this question is for you. What was the last gift that General Dogra bought for you?
He bought me a car.
Wow. Oh, my God. That's a huge gift. Wow. Awesome. And what was the last gift, General Dogra, that Supriya bought for you?
I don't think. I don't wait for an occasion. If
she gives me gifts, regularly.
If I see something I like, I just pick it up. So I don't really wait for
so she actually, I must tell you, I am very poor at giving gifts. I come from a family where gifts are never given to anybody. And she came from a family where they were always giving gifts or finding reasons to give gifts. So I found it very odd, when we got married, because she would pop up with something almost every 10 days.
Wow.
I got this for you, I got this for you. And I had nothing to reciprocate with. Now, of course, it's been a long time and I got used to it. So she keeps popping up with these, things that I bought this for you and I bought this for you. So I can't really put my finger on one big gift or something like that. But in my case, it's the other way around. I don't do that. So I need to, make an impact once in a while.
Super. Okay, so General Dogra, this is for you. Now, you are the only general in the entire world who, at the age of 58, did the Ironman in Austria, which is absolutely commendable. And I was telling my husband that you did it in so many hours, and he was awestruck. He was like, wow, unbelievable. My husband's a half, he hasn't done the full marathon, but he's a half marathon runner, and he was totally in awe. He was like, wow. So you must have, of course, there's a lot of physical training that, goes into this kind of endurance. So I want to know, what is it that, how did you prepare yourself for this? What mental, physical training did you kind of endure yourself through?
So there is, like you said, two kinds of training. First is the mental, and then is the physical.
Right.
And the mental training is the more difficult one.
I'm sure.
Because you have to first, I had to start by convincing myself that I can do it. And that was a difficult part, because everybody whom I spoke to that I want to do the Ironman, they only discouraged me. They said, you can't do it, you're too old, you'll have a heart attack. This is not the age when you do stuff like this. So I needed to convince myself, and I started by doing that. But the moment I started my training, I knew that this journey is going to be long and tough. And there would be times when may want to even quit. But I didn't want that to happen. So I went into social media and I announced that I'm going to do Ironman. And
that
when I
put pressure on you, yeah.
So I did this public pledging, and therefore that cut off all the windows which may have been there to escape.
Right.
So that mental training and I would say this public pledging worked as a good, positive pressure to keep me training. Right. Because every day when I trained, I wanted to quit. And I was cursing myself, why the hell have I got into this? Then, of course, comes the second part, is the physical training, because it's a very intimidating event where you need to swim 3.8 kilometers, cycle 180 kilometers, and then run a full marathon of 42.2 kilometers. And all have to be done.
I'm exhausted, my God.
So was I when I was, reading about it. And it has to be done within 17 hours. I had never swum 3.8 kilometers. I had never run a marathon in my life. I had done a half marathon, but not a full marathon. So then came the part of starting to train. And therefore, the training had to be taken very systematically, because I was working. I had a 9 to 5:30 job in Delhi, an important job. There was no way I could compromise on those 10 hours in work. And the balance 14 hours was where I had to actually carve out my training schedule from. And therefore, if you take away 8 hours of sleep, 6 hours is what I had to train and to do whatever else. And therefore, sacrifices had to be made: social life, family life, other hobbies. So the entire focus shifted to just survival and training. And I did that for 18 long months because it takes a long time to reach that kind of level of fitness where you can do these three events one after the other. And I never ran a 42 kilometer even in the training. So the first marathon I ever ran in my life was at Austria in the Ironman.
Wow.
So, but that's how I trained, and it took me 18 months, and well, I was lucky. But this public pledging worked well, because I told Supriya on the day of the event, I said all those guys who have been cynical and, who have been questioning that can he do it, will be now watching and tracking me, and I will die doing this event. I won't quit. Yeah. But of course, it never reached that far. It happened.
And then you bettered yourself the next year when you took part in the Ironman in Germany. How did you do that? How did you better your timing? That itself, and you did it by 41 minutes, which is a huge amount of time. So how did you do that?
So maybe, you can say I learned the ropes. Right. The first time I was a greenhorn, I was exploring. I didn't want to overstretch in the fear that I might cramp or, I might get injured while doing it, and then you can't complete. So it's more important to complete than to aim for a very good time. The second time when I went there, my aim was to improve my time. Of course, I improved it by 41 minutes, but I was not happy with that, because I actually had an issue with after my cycling where I got bloated. The gels which I consumed while cycling were, I think one of them was bad. And so I was like vomiting during my run of my marathon. Okay. And therefore, I intend to do another one and hopefully come down below 13 hours this time. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you that. Do you intend to do another one soon?
Of course. Wow. I hope to do one every year till I can.
Amazing. Excellent. Wow. What an inspiration. Amazing. I run 10 kilometers and I feel I'm going to die. I want to do a half marathon and I can't do that. 10 kilometers itself is like such an effort for me. And when I hear your story, really, really inspirational. Really, really inspires me.
It's in the mind. You have to just tell yourself you can do it. You'll be able to do it.
You'll be able to do it. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. So Priya, my next question is for you. Now, I know that you are multi-talented. You do so much. And being a, senior army officer's wife, I also know the kind of pressure you have where you expected to do a lot as an army wife. So you've done all of that. Plus, you have been the head of grooming finishing school in Delhi. You have been a content writer for so long, and now you are into painting. So how do you manage to do all, and how did you manage to do all of this? I want to know all about that.
I started this at a time when I was in Delhi because of the kids. They were in those crucial years of, the 10th and 11th and 12th and all that. So I started that time. And my husband was very supportive, and he told me to go ahead and try out whatever I wanted to. So I started off by freelancing, which gave me a lot of time to myself whenever I wanted to have it. And so this head of training thing and as the vice president, that was later on when I was asked to come on board with this company, this finishing school. And so somehow I think I managed to balance the two. And the kids were also at an age where they were, old enough to manage themselves. Plus, my in-laws were staying with us and they were a huge support.
Right. Wow. And also in the pandemic, Supriya, you have started painting a lot, and you have also sold some paintings already, and you're planning to come up with an exhibition very soon. So what are those kind of paintings? Because every artist has something which is very close to them, and then that shows in their paintings. So what is it that you kind of, I won't say specialize in, because all artists are so imaginative every time. So what is it that strikes a chord with you whenever you're painting?
So I like experimenting with all kinds of paintings. I love to do landscapes and watercolor and all kinds of paintings. But I specifically like making women, and I'm somehow very attracted by eyes. I like to do the eyes. I like to spend a lot of time doing the eyes in detail. And the kind of women I find myself making are always beautiful but very strong women. I mean, there's something about them that there is strength and they have character. So it's not just beauty, but they're strong. So I somehow find myself drawn to, I somehow just end up making those kind of paintings.
Wow, awesome. I'd love to come and see your paintings definitely one day.
That'll be really nice.
I'm going to do that. Okay, General Dogra, I want to know, now you have always aced everything that you have touched in life. You've been a sword of honor, which I know is a brilliant thing when you're a pass out from IMA. So you've been a sword of honor. You've aced at your age now, at the age of 58, you've aced the Ironman. So any failures that you've had in life which have been learning experiences for you?
Well, failures are part of life, and there have been failures all along the way. So when you say failure, actually, I can't put my finger on one particular one, but yes, I can say that when I didn't get approved for my rank of Lieutenant General, well, I will not call that a failure, but I will just call that an incident or an event, because it happens. It's a board which is held and where you get selected or you don't get selected. So that really was the turning point when I was not prepared for that eventuality, because I never thought that I would not make it. But because I was not prepared, I got hit badly, and I started blaming myself that maybe somewhere I was responsible for whatever I had done, and I did not get approved. There was nothing that I could pinpoint to say that this is what I did wrong. But whatever the end result was, I blamed myself. So this carried on for maybe 3, 4, 5 months, where I stayed with this, self-blame, started feeling low on confidence, low on self-esteem, avoiding people, avoiding parties. And that's when I decided that I needed to do something to get out of this.
Right.
And that's something I could only identify as being something which would be big enough to overcome this loss that I felt within me. And that's how I came onto this thing of doing the Ironman. And I was looking around for a challenge which is big, and I found this to be an appropriate challenge. It seemed like a dream that time to do the Ironman because you know what the distances are like, and I had never run or swum that much. So that's I would call that the turning point of my life because when I took that decision, and now that I achieved the Ironman, doing the Ironman, and I can do it, I could time. I somehow found that it led me to believe in myself once again. I look at things more positively, and that little bit of a vacuum which you feel in your life, whilst everything is good, but there is a vacuum, something missing, that got filled by this. And I think that is the turning point of my life.
Wow, and look at what you've achieved after that. I mean, the whole world looks up to you now as the only general in the world to have, completed the Ironman. So I feel it's amazing what you've achieved and the way you took it positively and took up that challenge. I think brilliant. Hats off to you, really. Absolutely brilliant. General Dogra, one more question for you before I move on to the fun element. Any, during your tenure, you've been with the Army for so long, any particular event that stands out for you or anything special, many special memory that stands out since your long career in the Army?
Yeah, once again, my answer would be there are so many. But something that really touched me was the day of my retirement. Now, on the day of my retirement, there were two events which happened, which were not really, part of the scheme of things. You retire in the afternoon and then you get back home, and that's the end of the story. So for me, I was posted in Delhi as DG resettlement, and those normal, the goodbyes and the office, the speeches and all that stuff, and they all came to see me off. And suddenly I found that the powerhouse had sent a guard of honor in Delhi outside my office. Now my office, Puram, and RK Puram is surrounded by civilian offices, government offices, but all civilian. The only army establishment was where I was working. And there was this guard of honor in the ceremonials. And the moment I came out, they gave me a ceremonial salute. And that was like the last salute to the Pune horse. And that was very touching at that moment. So that was one incident on that day. And that night, Supriya had hosted a party where she had invited home approximately 80 odd people to, of course, whilst I had retired in the afternoon, I wore my uniform again that night, and I wore my sword. And there was a guy who had come from the regiment in his finery, and she had written a poem for me about our journey the last so many years together.
How beautiful.
And
Wow.
And then formally I handed over my my uniform and my sword and everything to this guy. So that was a really great occasion on my retirement, which I will remember always.
A very emotional one as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, very emotional.
I can imagine
Yes.
you've spent all your life, being a part of that journey, and then suddenly that it's not going to be there anymore and it's all behind you. So definitely
Yeah,
it is a very emotional moment.
it
Yeah.
is.
Okay, so now let's get back to the fun bit. Now I've got a little bit of a rapid fire round for you where Supriya, I want you to answer for General Dogra and General Dogra to answer for Supriya. Very simple, nothing extraordinary, just to add a little bit of fun to this.
So you will
Supriya,
realize that even after 39 years, we don't know each other.
That's probably what's keeping us going.
So Supriya, what is General Dogra's favorite drink?
He likes to have whiskey with soda and no ice.
Okay, and what's his favorite whiskey?
He likes Black Label.
Okay. Dogra, what's Supriya's favorite drink?
Her favorite drink is vodka with tonic water.
That's mine as well.
Green apple.
Great. Okay. So, Supriya, what is General Dogra's favorite cologne?
He likes one called
Aramis.
Aramis.
Ah, nice. Okay. Wow. And General Dogra, what's Supriya's favorite perfume?
She stopped using them. I'm so happy.
I'm allergic to the strong smell. I mean, it kind of triggers off a headache, so I can't use perfume.
Oh, really? So you don't use perfumes at all? But now there's so many solutions. Now there's so many of these natural fragrances. In India, Forest Essentials and all are doing some amazing ones. Yeah. Why didn't so you can't use perfumes at all? You're allergic
Not
to
directly on my skin because it triggers off a kind of an allergy.
Okay. Okay. So what is Supriya? This is for you. What is General Dogra's favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
And General Dogra, what's Supriya's favorite ice cream flavor?
Strawberry.
all women, aren't we? We all love a pink and a strawberry. Great. Okay, thank you. Before I end, one last question. What is, Supriya, what is General Dogra's favorite cuisine?
He likes Indian food, well done, hot, and anything that's well cooked.
You know, believe this or not, every couple that I have interviewed, each and every man has his favorite. Wherever you travel to any part of the world, we all the men come back, including my dad. Everybody comes back to Indian food at the end of the day. You could be a travel explorer, you could be anybody, but at the end, we all come back to our roots, to Indian food.
Yeah.
General Dogra, what is Supriya's favorite cuisine?
Oh, she has so many of them. You know, she's very fond of exploring. And from the time we were dating, I'm talking of when Nirula's was just about new in Delhi.
Right.
Every time we went there, she would order a different dish and then then she would make a face that this is not good enough and dig into what I was having, which was a standard cheese sausage pizza.
Nice. I'm sure, Supriya, you're a fantastic cook as well, because all army wives are fantastic cooks. Whether they like it or not, they make the most amazing food in the world, I feel. They're so well trained.
She is. And we don't eat out at restaurants because I find what she makes better than what we get outside.
I'm sure. I've seen all army wives. They are so fantastic with their cooking, with their baking, even with their table decor and everything. I mean, really amazing. Excellent. And especially Ahmed Kaur, I have to say, Ahmed Kaur totally rules, rocks. I know people who are not from the Ahmed Kaur would hate to hear this, but totally the best of best.
I was going to say that the rest of the army is not going to listen to your program.
But thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to have the two of you on my show, Finesse and Flair. And I really appreciate you taking our time. And we are going to be coming up with this episode in the next 2 days. This Saturday, I'm going to be coming out with it live. So thank you so much. And thank you for watching. And thank you. We'll see you soon again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bia. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.